You absolute fools! This is exactly what Eminem wanted, you know. He's kicking back in his mansion right now, looking at all the cringy videos making fun of his lyrics, while counting the piles of money he's making. Don't you idiots realize this is how he stays relevant? You all think he's so corny and washed up. Well, he would have stopped years ago if you guys didn't keep giving him so much attention. That's literally what the Death of Slim Shady is about, and you all are still too blind to see. Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to review this album so that you can learn exactly what you've done. Alright, so just for some quick context, I am a fan of Eminem.
What?
But I know as well as anyone how much of a mixed bag his music is, and I'm not afraid to shit on a song of his that deserves it. So just rest assured that this is going to be a fairly unbiased review. I'd love for every song to be a hit, but that hasn't happened since the Mathers LP, so my expectations are very tempered going into this.
One album later.
Yeah, it's mid as fuck. But not as mid as the cringy TikToks might lead you to believe.
You gonna cancel me, yeah? Gen Z me, bruh?
Cancel me all you want? I don't think you should be on this freaking darn game if you don't have a microphone. You can cancel me for that, I don't care. It's just my opinion, go ahead and cancel me.
No one gives a
As I'm sure you've heard if you know anything about the album, it's full of rage bait and biting lyrics such as the titular, "You gonna cancel me, yeah? Gen Z me, bro?" which has the internet clowning on M, and has even been the catalyst for the Gen X rise trend, which has everyone who isn't Gen X feeling like the Renaissance men are coming to town.
I literally, I don't know.
Completely different era.
I'm literally telling you the extent of my knowledge. I knew that the
Gen X
were coming to town. That's it.
Okay.
But that's exactly what Eminem wants. We all fell into his trap card. You see, this is a concept album. The concept being that
Eminem's alter ego Slim Shady has come back from the dead and kidnapped Eminem. Slim forces M to do drugs and tries to get M to act more like his old self. Slim's goal being to get them both cancelled. His plan works, so the two become addicted to controversy, saying whatever they can think of to piss people off. However, M finally snaps out of it and he kills Slim Shady once and for all. Or he might still be alive in an alternate timeline. I don't really know. I kind of just skimmed the rest of the Reddit post from this point.
See? The lyrics aren't Eminem being serious, it's just what the character of Slim Shady thinks. Well, now that you're all up to speed, let's review the songs one by one and uncover what's really going on here.
Now there's travel inside the mind of a hater, cause I don't see no fans, all I see is a bunch of complainers.
Renaissance has a pretty good flow in lyrics, but it's nothing super memorable. I give it a 6 out of 10. Narratively though, this is where Slim Shady kidnaps Eminem after coming back from the dead.
My God, old habits die hard.
Habits is another track with great flow, but the lyrics are a little distracting with how blatantly rage baity they are. Even with the context of the narrative, it just feels like he could have executed the concept a lot better. 6 out of 10. Oh, and speaking of the narrative, this is where Eminem starts acting more like Slim Shady, which is why from here on there's so much rage bait.
Or what, genius, huh? You gonna cancel me, yeah? Gen Z me, bruh?
The infamous track where the "You gonna cancel me, yeah, Gen Z me, bruh" comes from. It's not even a song, actually. It's a skit of Eminem and Slim Shady talking, where Slim reveals that his plan is to get them both cancelled, hence the overly offensive lyrics. But why does Slim want to get them cancelled, you ask? Well, there might be a proper explanation if you dig deep enough, but knowing Eminem, there likely isn't one outside of Slim Shady's supposed to be an asshole, or something like that.
It's a brand new dance.
Apparently this song was originally supposed to be on his Encore album all the way back in 2004, but was scrapped because Christopher Reeves died just a month before the album dropped. But you can definitely hear that era of Eminem with the weird beat and looser, more goofy vocal delivery. Or just the fact that it sounds bad. I'm just joshing. I don't think it's terrible. I do appreciate the more unique beat, and it is a little catchy, so I'll give it a solid 5 out of 10.
I'm so evil, so evil.
Evil has more of that quality Eminem flow, but the chorus does kind of hold it back from being as good as the other songs. 4 out of 10.
I'm all you got.
This is just a skit reiterating how Slim Shady got Eminem to where he is today. He wouldn't have made it without Slim's controversial lyrics and not giving a fuck attitude.
And Lucifer.
Lucifer is a very mid song. the chorus especially being a low point for me. 4 out of 10.
He's the Antichrist.
Antichrist continues the strong motif in this album of good flows and whack choruses, a problem Eminem has had since Encore, and unfortunately it's still going strong today. 4 out of 10, I'm noticing a pattern.
Run out of fuel. I won't.
Jid does pretty well on his verse and Fuel, and M does his thing here too. There's some cool nerdy music shit he's doing by saying they're putting words in my mouth like alphabet soup, after starting the verse using A rhyme schemes,
For a couple decades, been letting this text ray from that day that I met Dre.
to repeatedly using the B sound,
That's the only way you're gonna be killing me. Ain't gonna be on no beat, silly. I beat the beat, silly.
to then using alliteration with the letter C,
Got the most content on the continent, and constant compliments give me confidence. Across the common sense and incompetence, I'm cognizant the conflicts of consequence.
to spelling words and saying names like K-Rod and SIG. It's all very neat if you still need to learn the alphabet. 6 out of 10 for learning.
Give me your road rage reason.
Road Rage is another track where the rage bait gets a little distracting. Especially because he's having whole ass conversations about overweight and transgender people, to the point where if these aren't at least a little bit of Eminem's actual views, then it feels like a waste of breath to go so in depth about these things that are just supposed to be what the character of Slim Shady thinks. 4 out of 10.
Harry Houdini, I vanish into the thin air as I'm leaving.
Houdini lacks much substance, and the chorus falls a little flat for me, but I'll be damned if this man doesn't know how to make at least one viral song per album, because Houdini sure is catchy. 7 out of 10.
Detroit rapper Eminem, in a stunning move, has released an album in which he is actually trying to cancel himself.
This is another skit which shows M and Slim watching the news together, and the news reporter basically just gives a recap of the narrative so far, saying that Eminem released a new album where he's trying to cancel himself, and that it's working.
Here's the thing about retarded people. What? They don't fucking know they're retarded.
Guilty Conscious 2 features Eminem and Slim Shady having a back and forth. It's also not a very good song. In other words, bro is literally having a mid-off with himself. At the end, Eminem shoots Slim Shady, but when he wakes up, he says he feels like he's still in a dream, so it's left ambiguous if Slim is gone or not. Also, the title of this track bugs me because it doesn't seem like a continuation of the original Guilty Conscience story, nor does it use the same format of the original, so the connection is really weak. Anyways, I'm feeling another 4 out of 10.
Either way, I'm the fucking head honcho.
So now the rest of the album is more or less standard Eminem fare, since Slim Shady is presumably dead. It's nice not to have to deal with the corny lyrics anymore, but Head Honcho is not very interesting regardless. It's not bad, but it's pretty forgettable. 5 out of 10.
The tears are temporary.
Yeah.
That's right, I'm not buying into temporary. You see, the thing is, even if it is genuine and he didn't make it just to fill out the track list, it's a song for his daughter. He opens it by saying these are all the things that he'd want to say to her after he's dead. One person in the whole world is this song's target audience, and it ain't me. 3 out of 10.
I got a bad one.
This is just a flex song, the bad one being a girl. As you could probably guess, it's really forgettable. I'm feeling another 4 out of 10.
Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider, but see, me, it was a goat.
Another song lacking a lot of substance. This is just M saying that he's the GOAT. The chorus being, Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider, but me, it was a goat. Which is just one of the most eye-roll worthy hooks I've heard in a while. So let's keep the 4 out of 10 streak going.
Half a bag of Viagra.
Eminem reminds us that he's not only a master at making us think and cry, but laugh too with this side-splitting skit where he parodies his own song Houdini with silly lyrics.
Somebody save me.
Somebody Save Me is another tearjerker, with M now talking to all of his daughters instead of just Haley. Also, remember when I mentioned in the narrative that Slim Shady got sent back to an alternate timeline? Apparently this song is from Slim's perspective in that timeline, as he talks about not being able to overcome his drug addiction, which in our reality he did in fact do. The song ends with Slim getting lowered into his grave, which loops back into the beginning of the album where he's coming out of his grave. Anyways, the song itself is pretty underwhelming. It just doesn't land for me like his old sad songs do. 3 out of 10. Okay, so maybe my claim at the beginning was a little misleading. Slim Shady wants to get cancelled in this album, but all the discourse online is just making fun of the lyrics instead of getting mad at them. So one could argue that this isn't really the gotcha moment that I'm making it out to be. But it doesn't matter. This dude is the Michael Bay of music. He's a master at getting your attention. And whether you love him, hate him, or just make fun of him, he'll be laughing all the way to the bank just the same. That being said, once you see through all the by design eye-roll inducing lyrics, what are you left with? Unfortunately, one of Eminem's most underwhelming albums in a while. And it's not like the competition has been very stiff lately. Can't wait for his next album where he calls us all stupid for not realizing that the rage bait was part of the story of this album and that none of us understood it. Speaking of his next album, he can't have many more left in him. He's already in his 50s and it's not like he needs any more money. I just hope he goes out with more of a bang than this album. Oh, and speaking of going out with a bang,